have to...
Hello, my name is Harrington Boatco, and we have not, although we've taken a break, we have not really stopped here in the studio discussing the issues. Now, we were talking about the political parties and the vulnerability, or to be exact, where we stopped before we took the break was, while banks are really supposed to reserve 25%, as Arthur has been saying, it is common trend, or it's been tradition, that the banks no longer follow this rule, which is a part of the Constitution. So part of their mandate, so to speak, part of the law.
Yeah.
So now we suffer this crisis because banks don't lend to Agri anymore. They'd rather pay the penalty.
Yeah. And when you mentioned something about the rice, no, look at what's happening. Their solution to stave off the increase of prices of rice and fish
Is to import.
is to import.
Yeah.
And when you import, you saturate the market, and therefore the price of goods are not going to go up. But there are two things that are happening here. One is you go against the interest of the farmer.
Yes, that's
Okay.
that's exactly where I'm seeing it.
Yes.
That's how I see it.
Number two is you are trying to get the government and everybody to agree, no, that we should be importing food rather than producing food. Because this is what's happening. And moving towards this idea of import liberalization. Import liberalization and globalization go hand in hand. Therefore, you don't control your economy anymore, because now you are dependent on importing. If you are dependent on the production of other countries so that you will be fed for your survival,
Delikado.
then what are you? You shouldn't even call yourself a nation.
And the way they would parry this argument, this line of thinking, they would say, well, but you are not competitive. You cannot compete with Thailand because they have more rivers, etc. But the solution really requires a proactive government that says, okay, if that's a problem, I will invest and support the small farmer. He is not creditworthy. Well, I will give him use the 300 billion, use it as a guarantee fund so that he can borrow.
Well, number one, irrigation.
Yes,
Irrigation.
Implements, farm
Yes.
implements.
Oh.
exactly.
Access to credit for machinery.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Yeah.
You're actually mouthing now part of the program
Of KDP.
KDP. You see, as we're talking about the problems, and obviously the commonsensical thing is what the solutions are, and what you're saying is actually part of what we are saying in as far as agricultural policy is concerned, as far as economic policy is concerned.
Should political parties, in America, when you're part of the liberal or you're part of the Democrat, when you join them, you are made to pay dues to support the party. Dito ba ganun dapat? I mean, for example, KDP, Katipunan ng Demokratikong Pilipino. Pag sumali ako, hindi ba dapat you pay your own way, di ba, so to speak, to support the party, not the other way around, the way the COMELEC has it, that the party will support you.
Yeah, no. What we're doing right now, because we're not a moneyed group, we don't have any personality with the billions of pesos to spend. What we're doing now is every region that is part of our party must be able to generate its own funds, no, to operate the
How
party.
do they do that? Paano sila
They will
kikita?
go ahead and generate funds by themselves, meaning they get from their own members, from their donations, from their so on and so forth. In the same way, the national organization will be open to donations. No? Eventually, like you said, in the United States, the party members contribute. But they contribute also in form of donations. No? But donations are limited. Anything going above a certain amount, no, has to be declared with the authorities.
But there's nothing wrong with declaring that.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. But here in the Philippines, they don't do that. No?
But
Some
shouldn't they,
company
so
will
that at
put up
least-
1 billion, 2 billion pesos for some candidate. No, but that is
That's off the
somehow
record. It's always off the record.
camouflage, right?
But shouldn't they, I mean, if you are proud to say you're part of KDP, would you put your money where your mouth is? Dapat, di ba? Hindi yung, sali ako kasi may makukuha ako dyan. Kung manalo kandidato mo, ayusin natin problema ko. Influence peddling na naman. Isn't that the way it works now?
Yes, that's the problem with when somebody puts up a lot of money to your
There's a reason.
organization. They have ulterior
Alternate-
motive.
yes, ulterior yan. Of
They
sure.
want a protection for some business that they
Yes.
have and so on. And you, because they put up so much money, tend to protect that. And that's how our politics works. We aim to try to disrupt that. No? We aim to disrupt that. You mentioned earlier, can the masa understand this?
Yes.
And I say yes. No, we can. No, the masa can understand it. But first, the approach of explaining the ills of the country should be approached from issue. It must be issue oriented. Example: there are 3 issues that we are going to hammer into the minds and hearts of the people that no other political party wants to touch. Number 1, electoral fraud, the alliance of Comelec and Smartmatic. Now, from our viewpoint, the previous elections, there is no politician, congressman or senator, no, that has not transacted with Comelec and Smartmatic or both, no, for their election. To keep them, to make them win, to keep them in their positions, no, and to prevent them from being cheated. No. In whatever way you want to present that, meron ka pa rin ibibigay. Okay? Ito yung tawag nilang kalakaran. No? Now, we aim to bring this up to the people. You are not electing your leaders.
Yeah, Smartmatic is.
Smartmatic is with connivance
With the
of
Comelec.
Comelec, right? And they
But
understand this.
Tingin mo aabot pa yan sa Mayo, yung Smartmatic?
Well, we
I
don't-
know they have a signed contract, but,
Yes.
but
We hope
public
it will be.
yeah,
We hope it will be rescinded. But
because the
whatever
public
it
opinion is heavily against it.
Well,
exactly.
yeah,
That's
part of
what I
the
mean. No, it is the public opinion. The massa understands this. Number 2, the Deng Vaxia genocidal scam. Okay, that is genocide. So far, 800 or more than 800 people have died because of the Deng Vaxia. Only 80 bodies of these young kids have been exhumed so far. And all of those 80 bodies show the symptoms. No?
Same symptoms,
Same
yeah.
symptoms, identical symptoms of those people poisoned by Deng Vaxia. This has to be brought to the consciousness of the people, and it is already. But no political party is
Has
taking
taken up
the
the cost.
cudgels.
Yeah.
No one. Why? Because the Department of Health budget is substantially, no, pharmaceutical companies, medicine, and vaccines. And the ones that are lobbying in Congress for this are the pharma companies. No? And all of them have been somehow been beneficiaries of this lobby money to protect the Department of Health budget. And that's why they're not going to go against this.
Beholden lahat.
Number 3, high cost of electricity rates, the highest in the world, among the highest anyway. No? Right now, France is 24 kilowatt hours, 24 cents per kilowatt hour. The Philippines is 23 cents per kilowatt hour. Whereas America is 12 cents per kilowatt hour.
Ano kasi, what do you call that? Nuclear versus,
Yeah. Assuming na nandun na lahat yan. But what is happening? The whole power sector is now controlled by the oligarchy, right? And it is they that are benefiting through the APIRA law that started with Ramos all the way up to Noynoy. Now, if they are the ones benefiting from it, no, they would always protect that nobody repeals the APIRA law.
You protect your turf.
And what else? So this whole oligarchy have their own people in Congress and the Senate, aside from the fact that they are pushing lobby money here. So these three issues, no political party is going to take it up because it involves them. But our KDP will take it up and bring it to the people. This is where I mean. Now, from there are what you call ramifications in terms of the economy. The fact that you have the highest electricity rates is not only the burden to the people, it also creates an economic situation that makes people, that makes it very difficult for us to go into other areas of the economy and to improve, right? If we're able to bring down the cost of energy, for example, where do we go? We can go into steel manufacturing and so on and so forth. But we can't go there because they have the high cost of electricity. Deng Vaxia. What happened to the Deng Vaxia? The whole public now do not want their children to be vaccinated. Ayun na. They lost credibility, right? How do you gain back the credibility? Put those culprits in jail and bring them back. Once you bring, now you have a health program that can sustain a healthy workforce, because that's what you need, a healthy workforce to be the labor for industrial
Interestingly
growth.
enough, what was just signed into law was the insurance, the health insurance law. Diba? To augment the current state of the poor.
Right. Exactly.
Interestingly enough.
And then the most basic, Harry, is the election. If we cannot elect the people that we want, and our right to suffrage is being usurped, we put clowns here. We put robots here. You put people that are not deserving to be leaders of the people. What do you have? So it all boils down to that. And the people will start to understand this. We are lucky that we have somebody like Rodrigo Duterte so far. And we are still banking on his courage and his sincerity. That he will do everything that is necessary to protect the population.
Hindi ka babangga sa party ni Sara Duterte na hugpong?
No, I don't think so. No. Maybe some of those individuals there, but first of all, Hukbong is, like you said, a regional party.
Yeah.
Second,
Davao lang yun, regional di ba?
Yeah.
And yet, many of the major players in politics now, with the mandate, congressmen, senators, are already jumping ship to go to her party regardless of it being a regional party.
yeah.
And there is a movement nationwide to bring up the presence of Hukbong
Yeah.
to a major political party. They're trying. I know, I've been reading ads.
I think I would like the Hukbong of Sara Duterte to take up these three main issues.
I'm not sure that there is platform other than the popularity of Sara.
Okay.
There you go.
No, that is why.
There you go.
That's what
There you
I'm
go.
saying.
Yeah.
If she does take up these major issues,
Sakay rin tayo doon.
and then some other people that are already will fall out.
Hindi pwede. May ano kasi,
May conflict.
may conflict sila
Diba?
sa pharmaceutical at kung saan-saan.
Hindi si Sara, pero yung ibang tao dyan.
I guess the challenge that we are posing, that KDP and CNG is posing to the people is, are you willing to vote for people who represent certain ideas that can really bring systemic change to the country? You know? And whoever you are, whether you're KDP or LP or Sara for that matter, maybe you should join us if you see.
It's all about the platform.
It's all about that platform.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why we all,
Ikaw ba
our
alam mo
motto,
platform ng liberal? May platform ba?
walang mga platform yan.
Nationalista,
Wala
kay
rin.
Villar, wala?
Pare-pareho lang ng nakikita nila. But let me explain before anything else. Our motto, Harry, is that we are a party of principle, not of convenience. We are a party of ideas and not of personalities. That is always in the minds of our people.
But don't you think that even the LP will say otherwise? Because Kiko Pangilinan keeps saying that. Di ba?
Now, I want to know if he is really a party of that, and whether these people can claim that they are a party of principle and not of convenience, because many people that are joining them are for convenience because of the money, or to protect each other. You know, when all of your members of the party are facing criminal charges,
It doesn't say much for the party.
yeah, and then what you tend to do is to gravitate towards each other so that you can protect each other.
Ang political party ba, ang national political party, by the time the elections come, this is only basically for the Senate and Congress, correct?
Interim, yes.
Hindi, no, yeah, pero hindi pwedeng no positions for governor, mayor, wala. Kasi di ba local politics na yon, regional dapat yon. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, going down lower from mayor to board member to vice mayor and mga local legislators, wala na dapat national party, correct? Influence, so to speak.
Dapat.
Dapat.
But still, in our case, if we can go from this Senate as a national party, we go down to Congress. Right?
Hanggang dun lang.
Pwede pa rin. And we go down to local government. Why? Governor and mayor. Why is that? It doesn't stop us if there are people that want to implement it at the earlier levels, no? Because these are just legislators. These are implementers of the law.
Oh, executive
right?
na yan eh.
Yeah. Pero still, meron silang belief in these principles that we stand for. And why should we deny that? No? As a matter of fact, that will be welcome. One of the things that we want to be able to do is to hold sessions down to the barangay level, so that we can educate that.
Because these political parties don't even have anymore they don't even have forums anymore that get together before the elections. They used to have it 20, 30 years ago.
May ideas kasi noon. Ngayon wala na.
Wala na. How sad.
Wala na eh. No.
How sad.
Oh, tapos they put shows.
Puro artista.
Oo. Nakita mo ba yung Liberal Party noon sa Laguna?
Baka ano nga.
Hindi. They had this paid
mga
women.
sexy dancer. Oh, nakita ko sa
And they were having
on the stage.
a virtual sex on the stage by
Yes,
Liberal Party members.
Yes, I
Okay.
watched that. I saw that.
Yeah. And that's how low we have gone, right?
Pero tingin mo, ang Pilipino will understand it. Most Filipinos, especially the poor, and going down, are very cynical of their politicians. In fact, there's a saying, kunin mo na lang ang kwarta niya, wala namang mangyayari.
Alam mo whom we use as an example? President Duterte. I say, President Duterte trusted God and trusted the Filipino people.
Yes, and he won with a
So
landslide.
should we. No? Because let us not dismiss the inherent common sense of the Filipino people. They know what's going on. No? Now, given the chance, they will express their right, given the chance. That's why this COMELEC thing and this Smartmatic have to be done away with.
Well, at the rate they're going, if I'm not mistaken, public opinion is very strong. And yet, they have signed, there's already a contract to implement and to use Smartmatic in 2019. You know that already.
Yes, that
It was
has to be
pre-signed by
recently.
Lim
Yes.
before Lim resigned, or retired, diba? So it's a bit of a problem. Now, we're on the last 4 minutes. A very strong message directly from, first, the Citizen National Guard. Anong message directly? Just CNG towards this political party.
Yes. I think it's about time that our people get to choose parties and leaders on the basis of the principles and solutions that they say represent, they will pursue. And it's not just lip service to say, "I will give you education, we'll give you the..." No, there are underlying philosophies and systems of government, the systems of policies that have to be changed, and these have to be, and I think the people will recognize those who are authentic and those who speak the truth and who really want to serve the country.
Do we still ask for members to join the CNG?
Yes.
So before we go off from Arthur, if you want to be a member, you can just Google it, CNG, Citizen National Guard, and there are online registrations right there.
Yeah.
Just follow it. And let's go now to KDP, Butch Valdez.
Yeah, I had failed to mention during the whole show that one of the most important things that we'd like to address is to address the plight of the forgotten Filipinos. And when I say forgotten Filipinos, I refer to the Filipino family. The Filipino family, though it is protected by a provision in the Constitution that it must be upheld and protected, what is happening in reality to the Filipino family is that it is being destroyed and split up and wrecked in all different ways by society, by economic policies, by entertainment shows that are disruptive of the basic moral values, and by drugs. When I say economic policy, if your economic policy is to export Filipinos to go abroad, you are actually pulling out a parent or both parents away from their children. And their children generally will be growing up in that kind of environment. And of course, they will get into drugs, and of course, they will get into crime.
Dysfunction.
This is a disruption, not just of the family, of society and of the nation as a whole. That's why it is important that we go back and see to it that government, everybody in government, our legislators, our local government people, our executive, and our judiciary, do everything to protect the family, because as you protect the family, you protect the whole nation. Now, this is going to be our principal message. Because right now, if you go back the last decade, the last so many decades, you will see not just a gradual, but a dramatic deterioration of these foundations of society, which is the family.
Thank you very much, Butch. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now being challenged. Challenged to identify where you stand. Do you have a political platform belief? Do you have any parameters that you abide with? Do you even have a political party? Or are you waiting for the next star that ABS-CBN and GMA will create with the telenovelas? Do you even understand the politics that you are now watching? And should you? Well, you are being invited, is this right, Butch, to join the first sign up with the CNG, Citizen National Guard. And do we have a web page for the KDP?
KDP, KDP.ph.
KDP.ph, Katipunan and Demokratikong Pilipino. So, read it, and if you believe in it, then become part of the political party, regardless of who the candidate will be come October. Now, at least that way, you can blame the party if the candidate fails, or the candidate can be easily taken out and thrown out of the political party. So understand the meaning of political parties. Let's not be at a loss. Let us understand and be part of our politics. Maraming salamat po. Thank you, Butch.